So this weekend, after the main event, UFC 291, Jorge Masvidal admitted that he lost $100,000 on that fight, and he handed over like that BMF belt, to Gaethje. And what I want to know is, like, other sports, like, you definitely can't, like, put money down on your sport. You definitely not if you're like there watching it or something, participate. I know his contract is over though, right? Masvidal.
Yes. Yeah.
He's done. Yeah. But still, like, I would think if you're a professional fighter, you can't really like put money down on other fights, like the way other sports do. My question is, do you think it would be like, how hard do you think it would be to fix some of these bouts that you can put down on? Because you can pretty much throw down on the whole card, like the prelims, everything. Yeah. So how hard do you think it would be just to throw a fight in the beginning?
If you look at other fighting sports, aka boxing, you would say it's not hard. But that is also because there's so many governing bodies of boxing, right? Like, there's way too many governing bodies in the boxing world. It's broken down by state. Like, there's the national, then there's the state-run ones, and even some even have multiple state-run organizations for boxing when you fight. It's brutal. But for UFC, they do a great job of, like, there's one guy, you know what I mean? Like, so you would have to get to the fighter itself. But they do a good job of, I would say they do a good job. I mean, the only time I think it's been a blown call on a fight, the only one I can think of off the top of my head would have been that Shogun versus Machida fight and this was years ago.
Oh, wow.
Where Shogun he won that fight, right? And they gave it to Machida. And I even think Dana White even said, like, I'm not handing him this belt because that's a terrible call. You know what I mean? So I don't think it is. The possibility is 1,000,000% there, Liam, if we look at the past with boxing and everything like that. But I don't know. It's just, I really don't. If it has taken place, it's tough to notice, because I think it is tough. Like, I don't know. It is possible, but
because how hard would it be to just like tap on purpose and have like your buddy put all the money in the world down against you or something? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Let him take you down, get in the hold. Oh yeah. And they wouldn't dispute it. Go ahead, Bern.
So here's the thing. And this is what always comes down to, like, when athletes gamble in sports, right? It's got to be the perfect situation, right? So, like, in UFC, for example, if you're on the top of the card, you're making enough money where you don't need to take a bribe. You know what I mean? To take a fall. So, like, who's the guy who's right in the middle, who's making enough that it's worth it, but not enough that, and he doesn't know if he's going to win either. Yeah. So take some guaranteed cash, perhaps. And then you got to find a number that's semi-close, because Las Vegas, I mean, this is all of gambling in America was built by really talented mobsters. And so, like, they are people so there's so many factors that have to come in. It's like if you were to fix a baseball game, who would you pay? Right? Like, anybody off the top of your head, pitcher. Right? I'd pay the catcher.
Oh, really?
Because he's calling it. He's calling it. You drop all of a sudden you get a wild pitch, drop a couple balls. If you're trying to fix a football game, you know who I
quarterback,
pick? Long snapper.
Whoa!
That guy makes like the least amount of money on the team.
Yeah.
Right? And all he has to do is just fuck up one or two punts.
Yeah.
And like, that's usually the difference in an NFL game is one or two turnovers. Yeah. So you got to find that vulnerable position on the card of, like, who is in that spot, and also the money is not going to be. He's not a plus 750, because that's going to get everybody's cockles up. You know what I mean? Like, I think that people who make the lines are so much smarter than the public, and have been the whole time, and will be. Yeah. And if you want to get away with that, man, you got to be kind of perfect at it.
Yeah. And I think we've seen on all the documentaries, somewhere down the line, somebody like drops the ball. And
if three people are involved, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's gonna get pinched or get pressured, or just get drunk and talk to their buddies, which is what happens a lot of the time.
Yeah. Isn't that what happened with the guy, the Philly guy that the basketball ref?
Donaghy?
Yeah. Dude, I couldn't agree. I mean, the possibility is 100% there, but Bern, you're right. Like, yeah, Poirier and Gaethje are making too much money to even like consider that, and yeah,
right. And at this point, Liam's talking about how he cleaned up this weekend. Like, now that internet gambling is legal all over the place, that's just that many more watchdogs.
Yeah,
like people. I've heard a ton of stories about people who just go on a hot one on DraftKings or FanDuel, like hit a couple home runs, and they get frozen for a couple days.
Yeah.
Because what no one realizes is that the rule for any gambling site or the rule for any casino, which is why they always win, is that they can go, nope, we're not going to pay you.
Yeah.
We think you cheated and we're not going to pay you. And there is literally dick you can do about it.
Yeah. How about
I'd be so mad if that happened.
Oh,
like
who
finally go on like a tear and like
go on a tear, right?
And hit big, yeah. And then they just tell you no.
Dude, I mean, the craziest thing too is like if you look at the odds makers in football, like that's a perfect example. Like when they go over the lines, that to me, it blows my mind how accurate they are. Like even like if it's like a missed freaking field goal different, but it's different.
Totals for me. They're like 56.5 and it ends at 55 or 58. And you're like, depending on which side, it was like just right there.
Yeah. Every major bettor will never ever tell you to bet on mixed martial arts. Boxing, yes, but mixed martial arts, there's so many ways you can lose. I can break my own leg on your leg. I can fall down and get choked out, even though I was beating that guy. There's just a terrible way to bet, right? Yeah. Here's two kind of big topics. One, in the UFC, they give you a win bonus. So if I'm big enough, say I have a fight and I'm like on the main card, but I'm not a headliner, right? So I'm getting like maybe $100,000. If I win, I get $200,000. They double your pay if you win, which is a ridiculous premise, right? Because again, the win bonus, are you incentivizing me to not go in there and try my best, which is wild, right? So, but hold on. Here's the other thing. You're assuming with UFC specifically to be fixed that the other guy is in on it too, because there's no when he doesn't know that I'm going to take the fight, there's no him not head kicking me or doing some wild shit. So I can still be absolutely separated from my consciousness and have my life changed, literally have my life changed. So you have to have both guys involved for him to lightly beat me in like a submission, apparently. If it was, it's absolutely, the number is so small for it to happen in that sport.
And that means you're screwed.
At a high level. So when you get to a main card, this is your big thing. The second you lose and you're not the co-line or the co-main event or the main event, you're not making big bread. And even co-main event guys, they only make like $400,000 or $500,000. The guys, you're making a couple mil, right? You get 2-3 mil. A big boxing fight, they're getting 30 mil, 20 mil, right? For the biggest UFC guys, even Conor, Conor would make like 10, 20. They don't make boxing money. They don't make that crazy. So, but in the lower level of boxing, they make way, way less. And like the UFC guys get a little bit, but still, if you're a guy that's going in there on an undercard of a main big card, you're going to get 30 if you win, right? 60 grand. You train 3 months. You got to pay your trainers. You got to pay your gym fees. You got to pay your strength trainer, your health guy.
Dude, you don't get shit.
How crazy is it? How crazy is it that there's a win bonus? This is what they don't have a union that complain about. Is there any incentive for me to not go out there and try to not get separated from my consciousness by your shin bouncing off my forehead? No, there's no incentive. You can tell me.
Yeah.
You go out there and you're like minus 130 or minus 135. Like you're not a huge favorite, but you're a little bit like that's who takes the dive, right? You're minus 135. Yeah. It can't look insane. It's got to look close. But also, if you're minus 135, the other guy's probably like plus 180. And that's when you take the dive for everyone to bet against you. But still, man, I mean, the mob is pretty smart, and they set this whole thing up pretty smart about 60 years ago, and that's how numbers are run in the United States.
When there was no cameras,
and now there's 1 billion. So if you're gonna try to make that move, you better sell it. It better be a perfect scenario.
No, the best part of this story was that Masvidal told TNT Sports after he lost the 100K that, sorry, kids, you're going to have to go to public school now.
I love Masvidal. I love
Turkey.
Masvidal. Yeah, I mean, Liam, I will say this: when I got offered my contract for a professional boxing fight, I would have like had I won, it was gonna be like I think it was 1,300 for the winner. Yeah, and that's that's nothing, dude. It's nothing. Like I think I would have walked. I probably would have walked with like 500 out of the 13.
Yeah, does it come with like benefits and stuff? You get
there's no knockout. There's no there's
no
winner gets
pension.
the winner gets a little
401k.
more, but there's no winner's purse like there used to be.
Right.
There used to be winner's purse, but the winner gets a little more, but it's both guaranteed shit.
And can you imagine the promoter looking at you going, here's $1,300. I can't guarantee you healthcare or a pension, but I will give you a 95% chance of brain damage and maybe pooping your pants later. And you're like, hell yeah, let me get that, yo. Let me get it.
Dude, and there's been times at Grams where I would have made there's been nights at Grams where
you can make that. Yeah.
Like also, if
That's
this
terrible.
guy kills you, you get the loser's pay. That's $700, and also you're dead. That's not even going to pay for your funeral suit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's not even
Unbelievable.
So, all right.
Cover the dubs.
It's going to be great, though. It's going to be great. Trust me. It's going to be great. Sign right here, cuz I'm the bull.
Totally
it's going to be great. Doesn't that sound fun?
Yeah. You're going to be on TV. No,
you're going to be the next Mike Tyson. I'm like, I don't feel like Mike Tyson. He's like, you look like him. I'm like,
also, the guy you're fighting is 30-0, and he's won 2 world titles. So you got a great shot.